Welcome everyone to Italy Productions. In this video we'll be covering over Salvatore Testa and Frank Windows Narducci's business, Bistro. We understand that story never hardly gets covered, especially through many documentaries that Salvatore Testa's story has ever been covered. At the time Bistro's nightclub was purchased by Salvatore Testa and Frank Windows Narducci, it was in 1977. Testa was approximately 21 years old, while Narducci Jr. was approximately 24 years old at the time the nightclub was purchased. The reason how the nightclub got more publication in many mainstream news media articles is when the future president Donald J. Trump purchased the nightclub in the mid-1980s. Here's one of the articles that we will cover from the Press of Atlantic City. And before we begin covering this article of the Press of Atlantic City, we will also show you an interview from Philip Leonetti when he was interviewed by Patrick Bet-David on Value Entertainment when it came to them doing business with Donald Trump. And here's from Philip Leonetti's point of view.
How about Donald Trump?
Donald Trump. I didn't know him when he was young. Now that he's the president, I don't think he's doing such a great job.
So in Atlantic City, you had no dealings with him?
Well, we did, but not naturally, not me personally. We had a club called the Bistro Club, and we sold that club to Donald Trump.
Got it. And he knew he was buying it from you guys?
Well, he should have known, because I think he made a statement. He says, those guys are stupid like he is. He says, I would have paid twice as much for that building. Your man.
Let's skip this one here.
Also, Donald Trump himself has even joked and hinted about him doing business with Cosa Nostra members. Michael Franzese has also covered that, of course, that Donald Trump was not involved with the mafia, but of course he had to do business with the mafia because many of the mafia members had control of the union rackets, union members, and how the union members did business with outsiders, especially when Donald Trump was a casino developer at that time. Now, from the Atlantic City Press, Trump's purchase clearance blocks for Transit Center was written by Philip Linzolata, press staff writer. Atlantic City, casino developer Donald J. Trump's $1.1 million purchase of Bistro's nightclub through a third person from alleged mob member Salvatore A. Testa gives Trump almost an entire block adjacent to his casino project and convention hall. The nightclub, located on the corner of Missouri and Pacific Avenue, was purchased on November 5th in transaction conducted by local attorney Patrick McGran, Jr., according to county records. The parcel of ground completed by acquisition of Bistro's allowed Trump to proceed with his plan for a $50 million transportation center that he said would take up almost an entire city block. But the project is in direct conflict with the most recent conventional hall expansion plans, which call for an addition to the hall on the Trump property. McGann said that Thursday was purchase of Bistro, one of several he had arranged for Trump using McGann's secretary as straw buyers. I do it all the time. I always use my secretaries, McGann said. He explained that the sale of Bistro, which sit on a lot of 150 feet by 50 feet, was executed by Lindo De Gregorio, a secretary of his firm's office. De Gregorio met with Testa's real estate agent, Philip Guber, to sign the agreement on sale. He said at no time did Trump or anyone from his office make contact with Testa in person. Records show that Testa purchased the nightclub with Frank Narducci Jr. in 1977 for $195,000. The two were denied a liquor license. However, the state officials ruled that as sons of prominent organized crime members were likely to be fronts of mob investors. Narducci transferred his interest in the nightclub to Testa in April 1982 for $1. Records show April was shown almost the negotiation for purchase of a whole nightclub, McGann said. Both Testa and Narducci are sons of mob figures slain in the strings of killings since the death of Angelo Bruno. Testa's father, Philip Testa, was killed in 1981 by a bomb on his porch. The younger Testa also became the target of mob violence when he was injured by 8 shots while sitting in an Italian market. Narducci's father, Chicky Narducci, was shot to death last January. In a telephone interview Thursday, Trump said he was aware of who had owned the property. We used the third party for purchase for 2 reasons, Trump said. We didn't want it known that Trump was buying it because the price might have gone up, and we did not want to deal directly with anyone who might be a problem, Trump said. and as soon as I learned the owner's background, I contacted the Casino Control Commission, informing them of every step of negotiation with the meeting were and who was present. We even sent the commission copies of all the correspondence, Trump said. James Flanagan, Deputy Director of the Division of Gambling Enforcement, confirmed that he had made aware of the transactions during the negotiation stages and said that he's interested in whether the price was fair, whether or not there was any pressure, that any sort of thing. Flanagan indicated that because of the sale was for cash and Testa had no mortgage or ongoing interest, the transaction on the face of things is not likely to affect the casino project. Trump said that he was unaware that the 1970 sale price was $195,000, but it would have been low. The city's biggest casino, the Harris Trump project, wasn't being built across the street at the time. He said that because of its strategic position, the property was worth 2 or 3 times more than likely the price of $1.1 million. It is a very important spot, the key to the entire block, that it would take all of the Atlantic City Expressway, traffic said. Titles for all the properties Trump's purchased on the block of Pacific Avenue between Missouri and Mississippi Avenue, including the Bistro, have been transferred to the Hara Boardwalk Hotel Casino at Trump Plaza, the joint venture located across the street. I bought almost the entire block of total cost of $18 million, Trump said. County records indicate that Trump purchased all of the block except the lots and stores fronting Atlantic Avenue. The Manhattan developer said that he was built a transportation center on the block, including a parking structure, bus depot, a passenger unloading area, and a beautiful public park. The garages is have yet to be determined the size, but the entire facility will be designed to serve both the casino and nearby convention hall, where there is a desperate need for parking. I expect the whole transportation center to come around $50 million, Trump said. Technicians from Atlantic County Improvement Authority, which controls Convention Hall, will be having a quiet member meeting with Trump's people, according to Alan Malek, executive director of the authority. He said the authority will monitor development of parking facility to its effect on the Convention Hall expansion, plans to determine whether the authority should enter into an agreement with Trump for the provision of Convention Hall parking facilities. Malek said the current plans developed under a fall of 1981 contracts to Angelo Demetrius Associates are very much in the air. That concludes that article for the Donald Trump purchasing the Le Bistro Club. Now we'll be covering when the Le Bistro Club was demolished. We have no photos of what Le Bistro looked like inside. We can only show you the exterior photos and how it would be looked if it was colorized in today's climate. So on Saturday, April 21st, 1984, from the press of Atlantic City, Landmark nightclub crumbles. Parking lot replaces Le Bistro by Stephanie Zatwaska, press staff writer. The wall of a Landmark Le Bistro nightclub here in an adjoining building tumbled into the ground Friday morning to make a way for a parking lot. Work crew moved into an alter AM until late afternoon to cart away rubble from the demolition, which was ordered by casino developer Donald J. Trump, the property owner. Trump purchased the vacant property of November of 1982 for $1.1 million, according to earlier reports. A spokesperson for Trump organization here said that an adjoining property, the building was owned by Hertz Rent-A-Car, was also demolished Friday morning. The purchase of the nightclub located in the corner of Missouri and Pacific Avenue is suspected to allow Trump to proceed with his plans for a $50 million transportation center. Trump told the press earlier that the project would take up almost an entire block. The purchase of Le Bistro came under public scrutiny last year after it was learned that the sale was made by Salvatore A. Testa, a reputed member of the Philadelphia Mafia. Records show that Testa purchased the nightclub for less than $200,000. Testa purchased the club with Frank Narducci Jr. in 1977 for $195,000. The two were denied a liquor license. However, because state officials ruled that as sons of prominent organized crime figures, they were likely to be fronts of mob investors. Narducci transferred the interest at the nightclub to Testa in April 1982 for $1, records showed. Trump said that earlier that because of the Bistro's strategic position, the property was worth 2 or 3 times more than a sale price of $1.1 million. Trump said that the spot was very important, the key to use the entire block because of its corner where all the Atlantic City Expressway traffic passes. No date has been set for the construction on the parking garage to begin, as a spokesperson of Trump's office said. The area would just be used for surfacing parking such time we decide the work will be, the spokesman said. Trump also said earlier that it had been no determined how large the garage would be, but the facility would be designed to serve both the Trump Plaza Casino, hotel, and nearby convention hall. In addition to the garage, plans for the transportation center on the block include a bus, a passenger unloading, and public park, according to earlier reports. So that concludes the article of the Bistro. So as you can see, when the club was opened in 1977 as a nightclub, it survived for a little less than 10 years of doing business. And when it was purchased by Donald Trump in the early 1980s, it took about 2 years for it to actually be demolished. Once it's been demolished, as you can see from the picture screen, this is what the remains of what it is. We will show you a screenshot to what it looks like currently, that you will no longer see, no longer even Donald Trump's casino or some of his businesses. In fact, as we show you, some of the logos of Donald Trump's casinos and other businesses they had in Atlantic City, logos have all been removed, but you could tell that because of the shape and structure, this was once owned by Donald Trump, and now he's currently the President of the United States, the 45th and 47th President of the United States. However, the history that he has left in the history of Atlantic City has long been ruined and is currently being demolished. You can see that right now there's nothing but dirt and residue of the buildings that once stood, became one of his businesses that he once established and owned, and eventually have been demolished, that made newsworthy even when he was President of the United States during his first term. Now, this is what currently the remains of Le Bistro and the parking lot at which Donald Trump's positions have taken over. While Le Bistro no longer stands in 2025, nor its former owners Frank Windows Narducci Jr. and Salvatore Testa are no longer here, this still holds history to what the grounds of which business that they once established with, and even the future President of the United States have once owned. Sitting here at the boardwalk of Atlantic City, this is Ifley Productions covering the Le Bistro. We hope you enjoy our content, and hopefully you get a chance to hear more of these type of hidden history that we don't even get a chance to cover, nor mainstream media ever does. Stay tuned for more content.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and check out more of our content. Feel free to give your feedback and suggestions on what we should do next in the comments. This is Infinite Lee Productions. We love ya.